Hello guys. Uncle Sam here again. I have another true life story for you. The story is titled, The Wicked Rainmakers. But before I get into it, please subscribe, like, and share so we can reach more people on this channel. Thank you. Here is the story. In a particular village in Africa, the way they conduct their funeral is, they will bring the body of the dead person in a coffin and keep it in the compound under a tent, or the sitting room overnight. They call it wake keeping. By doing this, they allow the person have one last night at his home residence before the burial takes place the next day. That night, the family and friends of the dead will gather to say their last goodbyes as they spend one more night with their loved one. The service will carry on all through the night till the next morning, and the burial will be conducted. Because of this practice, most funerals happen on Saturdays, as Friday is used for the overnight wake keeping. There was a small village called Onwako village. In that village, there are 3 evil men that call themselves the Rainmakers. These men have mastered the art of controlling when rain will fall or not. They were also very important in their community, because the farmers usually employ their services when it is dry season. These men will make rain fall only in the farm of the man that paid for their services. When they are at work, you can stand between the rain and a dry land. Half of your body will be wet, and the other half will be dry. They were that good at what they do. At some point, these 3 old men became very greedy. With the powers they have acquired, they go about collecting money from the villagers anytime the villagers want to have a function or to conduct a funeral, even if it was in the dry season. These evil men charge the family whatever amount they feel the family can afford, so that they don't make the rain come and destroy the function. There was a family that lost their father. The man's children were based in the city, but they were still struggling to make ends meet. They had to put their father in the mortuary for over 4 months, just so they can come up with money for his burial, and also it will be during the dry season. When they finally came home for the burial, these 3 evil men showed up during the wake keeping and demanded a lot of money for them to stop the rain from coming. The family pleaded with them and gave them what they have, but they refused. The rain came heavily in that wake keeping and destroyed everything. The next day during the burial, the rain followed them from the house to the burial ground. It was a big mess. Don't forget, this rain only fell on the burial function, and everywhere else was dry, so the villagers knew the people responsible. After the burial, the matter was reported to the king of the community, and he called these 3 elderly men for a meeting. They said, if the king cannot put a regulation on the price of what people bought and sold in their business, he cannot put a price on their own business, so they continued. One day, a rich man from that village came home to bury his mother who just died. The rich man's name was Barrister Aku. Barrister Aku was a well-known man in the village. He was a powerful occult man, but his level of occultism was civilized. What I mean is, it was a white man's cult, so they wear suit and tie. Barrister Aku, being a prominent man, came with a lot of rich friends who are not from that village for his mother's burial. The village was packed with big cars and security men. Everyone in the village knew about the funeral due to Barrister Aku's influence. The program started on a Friday morning instead of the usual evening. Because Barrister Aku was very rich and influential, he killed 10 cows for the funeral and invited the whole villagers to come and eat. There was a live band playing constantly to entertain the guests. In the afternoon, as the body of the mother arrived into the compound, the whole place was packed with people eating and drinking. Before you know it, the 3 evil old men showed up at the funeral. They were standing at the gate as usual, demanding to see Barrister Aku. Someone came and whispered to the barrister that the 3 rainmakers were around. He sent the person to tell them they must go. He will come and see them later, that he is busy. Before you know it, the weather started changing. The cloud was beginning to settle over Barrister Aku's compound. Barrister Aku quickly rushed into his house and came out with his gun. It was a double barrel. He rushed outside his compound to meet the 3 rainmakers, and some of his family members ran after him, including the villagers who were ready for action. As he got to where they were, he shot 1 bullet into the air and pointed the gun at them. Immediately, one of the men fainted. Then he told them, if a drop of rain touches my mother's coffin, I will kill the 3 of you, judge your case, and bury you, and nobody in this village will question me. I am Barrister Aku. The other two old men went on their knees and started begging him. They said they didn't know he was the one. Immediately they packed the things they were using to summon the rain and carried the partner that fainted and went home. Power pass power. There is a kind of mind a person will have when he has something backing him. From that day on, those three evil men stayed away from the community. My brother, in Africa, we don't play. It's either you have it, or you don't. If you are a Christian well, but whatever you are, be strong. Make sure you have a backup, not just backup for fighting on the floor level, but backup from a higher realm. I remain Uncle Sam. Stay safe.